Today we're visiting with veteran Marine and author Steven Pressfield at the Marine Corps Association here at Quantico. Mr. Pressfield is the author of several books including The Virtues of War, The Afghan Campaign, and one of the books on the Commandant's reading list, Gates of Fire. Mr. Pressfield's latest novel is a thriller titled The Profession, which takes place in the year 2032.
For me, it's just always, it's very humbling to see our great young guys that are out there doing, I mean, when I speak, I always feel like they should be speaking to me and not the other way around. So I'm just trying to, I'm not even sure how much I can bring, but I just try to bring whatever a writer can and whatever to help the guys and gals. I guess I have maybe a bit of a dark view of where the future is going, and it's been kind of troubling me for a while. And I kind of but you see certain trends out there that are happening. One is obviously that there are more contractors in Iraq and Afghanistan than there are actual troops, and that's definitely a trend. And so I just sort of spooled that out forward. I mean, one of the signs historically when an empire kind of passes its peak and starts going down is they start to employ mercenaries. Rome did it, Athens did it, England did it, all empires did it. Alexander did it, even though his was a pretty short arc. But so I kind of feel that that's maybe a place where we are too. And although this book is set in the future, it's sort of a historical novel in the sense that I've kind of gone back to Caesar and to certain, precursors in the Athenian Empire and kind of projected them forward again, a generation into the future, to sort of, speculate what might be happening with us. Well, there's a famous quote from Somerset Maugham when someone asked him if he wrote on a schedule or only when inspiration struck him, and he said, "I only write when inspiration strikes me." He says, "Fortunately, it strikes me every morning at 9 o'clock sharp." So I'm kind of from the same school. I believe, that you do it by schedule, do it just in a kind of a blue collar way. Get up, do your, go to the gym, whatever you do, and then hit it. So Stephen King says that he writes 365 days a year on his birthday, Christmas, 4th of July, and I'm not that good, but I try to work every day. And on this tour that I'm on now, I'm not doing any work, and I really miss it. So I do definitely keep to a schedule, and I write until I start making mistakes. When I start having typos and stuff, then I know I'm getting tired. And that's like usually, it used to be 4 hours, now it's 3 hours. I'm getting older. But that's what I do. And as far as new ideas, where new ideas come from, that's a real mystery in my world. I'm always, when I'm working on one book, I'm always kind of thinking, what's the next book? What's the next book? Because, and I'll have a million ideas, and 99% of them are lousy. And if I can just get one over the course of the 2 years it takes me to write a book for the next one, then I'm lucky, because it's writing a book is like making a movie. It's like a 2-year commitment, full time or more, 2 or 3 years, and so you got to love it, whatever that idea is. I used to actually, when I was a screenwriter, I used to actually set days aside just to generate new ideas, and I would just sit down and just hammer one after another, and they were almost all lousy, But one of the things, I'm probably rambling on, Rob, a little too much here, but one of the things I've found is that when you, like, I keep files of new ideas. Will this be another, but will this, and they'll look really, really lousy to me, and then I'll come back to them maybe 3 months later and I'll go, wow, that's a good one right there. Well, how did I miss that? And sometimes that's the way it happens. But I'm also a big believer in the muse. I believe that ideas come from a place that we don't know about, and so I'm just trying to kind of follow where the muse is leading me, whatever she wants me to do the next time around. For instance, when the idea of Gates of Fire came to me, I had never written anything about ancient Greece. I didn't know anything about ancient Greece. I didn't know anything about historical fiction. It was like it was given to another person. I thought, this is a crazy idea. No one's going to be interested in this but me. Nobody can spell Thermopylae. Nobody can pronounce Thermopylae. It's a war that happened, 2,500 years ago to another country. Who could possibly care about that? But I just was so seized by the idea, just for myself and for its own sake, that I just knew I had to do it. So that's kind of an example of an idea kind of choosing the writer. And I kind of believe in that. I'm looking for that idea that's going to choose me. The premise of the profession is that what if a generation into the future the U.S. had pulled back conventional forces for homeland defense only, but still was dependent on foreign oil, Persian Gulf oil? What would happen then? And what I'm premising is that the vacuum would be filled by for-hire forces, by outsourced forces. And I don't see them as a crappy bunch of contractors, but as a really professional force, generaled by a Patton-like, larger-than-life general, and comprised of our same guys, 20 years from now. Guys who are 40 years old, 3 tour, 6 tour, 7 tour vets. And so that's kind of the premise. And then the twist of that is, what if this general, this larger-than-life general, who is Salter in the book, as his name, General Salter, he's a Marine general, what if he got it in his head that he could be the next Caesar, that the power really lay with him and not with anyone else? So that's kind of the overriding premise. But then the story is told from the point of view of his most loyal soldier, a guy named Gent, short for Gentilhomme, and what clash would happen when it's a bit of a premise like 7 Days in May, if you remember that old thriller with Burt Lancaster was the general who wanted to take over the country, and Kirk Douglas was his loyal Marine aide, right? Actually, he was a Marine colonel, right? And Kirk Douglas was the protagonist in that he had to make the moral decision: do I support this man that I really admire, even though he's doing something wrong, or do I take an ethical stand and go against him? And so that's sort of the model for this here. So the two characters love each other. One is at this level, one is at this level, and their careers have paralleled all along. One is a protege of the other. But then when the mentor kind of goes off the reservation, the protege has to make a moral decision over what he's going to do about that. Time in the Marine Corps really did prepare me. I never thought it would. I thought as soon as I got out of the Marine, I couldn't wait to get out. As soon as I got out, I thought, I'm never going to think about this again. But as I kind of grew and maturity kind of caught up to me a little bit, and particularly as I became a writer and found myself, as all writers and artists are, alone in the day, with nobody to validate me, nobody to pay me, nobody to reward me, nobody to motivate me, nobody to discipline me, I kind of came back to what the Marine Corps taught me. That discipline was externally imposed, right? Somebody was kicking your butt to make you do it. And now I sort of had to learn to internally self-discipline, self-motivation, self-validation. So this little book, I just wrote it like a few months ago, and it kind of is my understanding of what the warrior ethos is, and that's really sort of what I learned in the Marine Corps. And I think that military skills, you can always teach somebody military skills. You can always learn to jump out of an airplane or to dive or to shoot a rifle or whatever it is. But what the Marine Corps teaches, and what all really good military places teach, is this discipline, self-motivation, self-validation, selflessness, courage, patience, perseverance, the ability to embrace adversity and to aim for a high moral level, and the desire to be great, to be as good as you could possibly be at whatever it is you do. So, to my amazement, my Marine career did stick with me, and really, you know, I use it every day. It's free for Marines. We've got 6,000 copies at MCU. Contact Willie Tabron, Willie.Tabron, Tabron, at usmc.mil. He's got 6,000 copies, and he can't send out one at a time, but like a unit. You know, if you're you know, have a company or platoon and you like these, that's what they're there for.